Hey, it's Vanner, and you're listening to Finding Frequency. What a day. For me, it started at 8:30 this morning, connecting with a good friend of mine, ex-Deloitte buddy of mine. I met him in Deloitte, but we were so not Deloitte. And we had so much fun together, me and this dude, Justin Sannon. He was a handful, to be honest. One of those kind of people who tend to get you into trouble, but then also good trouble, fun trouble. That was Justin Sannon. That is still Justin Sannon. And we shared some thoughts and some experiences because he's navigating certain things in his career, some things that I've experienced, and perhaps, I'm getting a little bit inspired by what he's achieved. So it was a good way to start the morning, a very productive and mindful start to the morning. The rest of the day was mostly consisting out of trying to get a project off the ground, which has been fundamentally really tough. I'm actually a little bit stressed about it. And I'm hoping as I'm kind of wrestling with this project that there's going to be some kind of hook, because I always feel if you're floundering around, if you have something, some piece of solid ground to stand on, it's easier to start then navigating and building. You can build a huge skyscraper on just a little patch of solid ground. So that is an ongoing feat. And then also wrapping up the day a couple of minutes ago with a good webinar session, a session that I'm hosting for another client that I thought initially was going to be a little bit of a lack of attendance, but then turned out to be actually nicely attended. People had a positive attitude. So walking away from that feeling good. But then what am I reflecting on? So this day was also kind of underpinned by a lot of kind of crossing paths with different people. So for example, I mentioned Justin Sannon. I also managed to catch a video that my friend Terry uploaded to YouTube, and then also one or two little conversations as I moved through the digital landscape. And also, in fact, with Marta, talking to her about some of our experiences this year. One of the paths I crossed virtually is a little bit of a tribute to my good friend Jeff that has now moved to the other realm 3 months ago. 3 years, wow. 3 months ago, he passed, and seeing a photo of him on one of these social channels and a note from his sister-in-law kind of like brings back a lot of thoughts. And to kind of sum up what I'm discussing and why I mentioned all these people is that I think fundamentally for a lot of us, in some way or another, this year has been a really tough year. I didn't want to, I never like to put a label on something because a year is just a number. It's just a collection that we put to stuff. And, I feel also that if I say that this is a bad year, I'm underpinning or forgetting all the extraordinaries that happened every day, because that's the quest that I'm on. And yeah, I went through a rough patch earlier in a sense, but I can't deny that even in those times and those little rough patches, there was always a little 4-year-old or a Marta or something happening that could bring light into that experience no matter what. So I cling to that. And I'm also very careful to label a year as bad. But I am going to say this though, if I look at a lot of the feedback I'm getting and content that I'm seeing and kind of, authentic feedback and content that I'm seeing that I need to label, is that this has been a tough year for a lot of people. I know, for example, for my parents there in South Africa, that we wanted to come visit. They should have been here, and it's now like 2 years going that we haven't seen them, probably more. And even on that level, I'm so grateful for the health of my family and my friends. It could have been so much worse, but then there's also this whole idea of not being able to connect and see them. And yet we are still not back in the normal. I had a conversation with Marta today over a cup of coffee about what we miss. We were reminiscing about our travels to Barcelona and how we really enjoyed that. Something that it's become so distant that I have kind of forgotten about it, forgotten how it feels to take a trip and just hang out and do silly things. I don't feel that silly anymore. But that being said, that gives me hope for a new year, because you never know. You never know what's going to happen next. The only thing is that I also realize that I have the control to change things. And a lot of the stuff starts with me. I need to do more damn exercise, try new things. And you know what? I am trying a lot of things. I hope you're doing the same, because unfortunately you have to do and try a lot of things for one thing to be really extraordinary. And that's maybe also kind of extraordinary in itself. Attempt a lot of cool things. But yeah, lots being said and lots being thought about today. Kind of a weird day today. I hope you had a good one on your end. Thanks for listening.